Okay, here we are for the very first devlog, or probably I'm going to call it devlog 0 for my new game. Uh, this is the start of everything. There's not an Unreal file made, there's no game, there's no programming, there's only a semblance of a vision and a game idea. But I wanted to make this PowerPoint just to kind of establish three early goals, uh, things I learned from SimSolver, and just like three things that I know I need to do for this game in order for me to actually be successful and grow as a game developer. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so probably not a bad idea to actually talk about what my game is first before I get into my goals. With this game, I want to put more of myself into it because SimSolver was just random shit basically. There was no rhyme or reason to any of it. I was just kind of going with the flow, doing whatever worked. But so this game, I'm kind of theming around something that's more important to me and something that I've struggled with a lot. But so like the idea behind the game is that you play as this sort of like spirit mage sort of character who travels the world and helps people with mental health issues. The world and nature is like more fantastical. Think kind of like maybe like I want to say like Pixar, but like it's not going to be that good. But like that sort of like fantasy land, like that vibe almost and like tone, or at least like the visual tone, um, or like game wise maybe like a Tenebridge of Spirits, although again like just like not that good. Um, so that's kind of like what the world I'm envisioning in my head is. But anyways, like in this world, since it's fantastical, these mental health issues like depression or anxiety will manifest as actual demons or monsters like within the people's minds. And so like as like a sort of spirit mage, spirit guide, whatever character, your job to help them is like twofold. So like one part, I want you to be talking to these characters and have there be like dialogue options as you learn about what they're struggling with, their life story, like how they're handling it, what led to this, and just kind of like I'm like these are people that have kind of been cloistered up because the world I want to be like pretty isolated almost. And so these people aren't getting a lot of interactions with other people, and that's maybe why they've developed some of these issues. And so like you're kind of the first person they're opening up to. So like you talk to them, navigate that, and then kind of the final step in helping them is to transfer your consciousness into theirs again because like the fantastical nature, and then you're gonna be like clearing their mind of these issues. So, like I don't want to be as simple as like you're fighting depression because that's stupid, but like you go into their mind and like each mind will be themed differently depending on like what their issue is, what they're struggling with. Um, and then that's like where the combat will come in. It'll be like more of a dungeon crawler sort of thing. Um, you'll do that. You'll clear their minds, and you'll be able to exit it, and then like that will be and then that will kind of like open the door to let them heal because like you have helped them get those thoughts out of their head through like just both talking and then actually going into their mind, and like you're just clearing things out, and then you help them do what you can, and then it's kind of just moving on to the next person in the next location. And so like there's that dungeon crawling aspect to it, and then the next part would be like the overworld, which I don't know how I'm going to do that, or if I'm even going to be able to do this, or how big it's going to be. It might be like level based, might just be like one big map. I don't know yet, but you'll kind of explore a little bit, travel, maybe do like platforming. I don't know, but I want there to be like this connectiveness of you meet someone, talk to them, dungeon crawl, leave, go explore a little bit in the world, and just kind of have that be the gameplay loop. And yeah, so that's like the super vague idea I have. Me talking about it right now is like the first time I've ever actually like manifested it. So it might change. Don't know how much I'm gonna be able to realize it, but that's like the little spark right now. So yeah, there's that. All right, let's get into goals. So goal one, my fancy slideshow here. Cohesion and concentration, two things that SimSolver did not have. Semi-intentionally, just because I wanted to have as many ideas as possible and just be able to flex my like game development muscles as much as I could. But with this game, I want all the mechanics to be talking to each other. I want them to make sense. The big way I'm going to be doing that is following an course, just to kind of build the bones out. Since I'm not a programmer, never going to be, And this way, I'm going to be still doing everything myself, but I'm going to have that guide. I'm going to have those systems of someone who already did it, knows what they're doing, and I'll be able to have these RPG mechanics without completely exploding things and getting confused and having it take 12 years. So that's going to be a big thing, is kind of just making sure, because I know by doing that, all the systems will work together. And then, like, art style wise, having that be one art style, not doing like a mix of art styles like I do the Sim Solver. I almost 100% certain it's gonna be like a low poly art style, just because uh, one, I can make those like in Blender myself. I can 3D model that way, and then also there's so many like just free assets that I could use, or just paid assets on the Unreal Marketplace, and you can definitely make low poly stuff from different asset packs look cohesive together without too much effort. Like I might have to tweak a few things, but it's gonna be a lot easier. And then concentration. Uh, and that's just like kind of taking the game step by step and how I build it, which is kind of the second goal too. But just like starting with the gameplay systems, making sure all of that works perfectly, then moving on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. I'm not going to sit there and do get a gameplay system for half a day and then get bored of that and then move on to creating a level, because I will just have to recreate that level again and again and again and again while I continue to develop the game systems. That's what I did with Sim Solver. I wasted so much time. That game took me 8 months. Probably should take me 4. So yeah, that's the goal for or goal 1. Goal 2 is building better. Again, kind of already talking about like the concentration, but it's also just with optimizing stuff. So Sim Solver, I had so many technical issues. I first of all, backups was not a thing I started doing till like halfway through the project, and I lost a ton of progress. Um, and then things like textures and stuff, just like being not being stupid with how I use those. Uh, in Sim Solver, I was just applying random textures to random things and scaling objects in a weird way, or just like being careless with how I was developing levels. It's like assets I didn't need to use, collision I didn't need, and then also I need to have a better understanding of what assets I'm using and what effects I'm using and how that's going to affect one another, because there was so much clashing in Sim Solver just because of how unfocused it was, that the game is a technical mess in some areas, and I don't know how to fix it because I don't really understand the whole debugging process yet. That's something I'm still working on. So I with this game, I'm gonna slow down, take my time, make sure everything is working perfectly, and then like when I start, before I even start using it, like some assets, I'm gonna check all those textures, streaming pools. So that's a big thing I learned about, because I did not know about that. I'm not gonna be dumb with how I do like lighting sources or anything like that. Just gonna be very careful and intentional of how I build. Um, it's gonna be quality over quantity. I did not really do that as Sim Solver. I just wanted to build as much as I could so I could like have something to show, which I would never change how I built Sim Solver because it helped me so much, and I now actually have something out there. But now I'm going to be able to take the time to build better. And then goal number 3 is early access, because I don't want to be working on this game for a year and then have nothing to show for it. I would like to be able to get this game out there within maybe like the first 5 months, and then that way I can be like, hey, I'm not just sitting in a dark room doing nothing that no one's going to see forever. I will be able to show like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm working on. Because also like my goal for this stuff is to be able to get a job eventually in the game industry, and so I want to have that work to show for it. I don't want to spend so much time working and not being showing any of it. And that's also going to help me make decisions faster, because once I like create the like I'll not a vertical slice, but like I'd probably just build like the first area of the game, put that as early access, and then I am locked into what this game is going to be. And that's also going to make sure that I have every system built, because I'll need to have it to get it on Steam. So I won't be sitting there and just making huge sweeping changes to the game at the very end like it is Sim Solver. Like Sim Solver in the last month, I made massive changes to it that I probably should have made like the first month, but I just didn't do it because I didn't know what I was doing. Early access will also make me decide on like a name for the game, artwork, sounds, all the rest. Just like things I was doing very last minute with Sim Solver. It was such a rush. with Sim Solver, I set the date as like October because that's when I was going to release it. And I was like, oh, I have a month, I'll be fine. And then that month was just me scrambling and freaking out the entire time because there was so much to make. I didn't realize like graphical assets for the storefronts and just all that stuff. So me knowing I'm going into early access early, or yeah, early access early, that's just going to make sure that all these decisions are made early on and not less. So yeah, those are the three very basic goals I came up with quick, just to get something out there, um, and be able to just start working on it. Like nothing's been started yet. I'm gonna be starting that UMD course like right away, and that is gonna be what I'm doing for the majority of the time, or at least the majority of the time this first like probably couple months. I don't know how frequent the devlogs are gonna be. Um, I might just wait till I'm fully done that UMD course, be like, hey, this is what I built, and because then after I get done with that UMD course, I'm gonna have to really like expand upon that, like, and really just twist it into my own thing without breaking it. So yeah, that's kind of general plan. If I can do a dev log once every month, that'd be nice. I don't know if that's gonna be how it goes at the start. Might be have the actual first one like 2 months from now, and then from there they'll be more frequent. I don't know. I'm just excited to get started. I'm excited to start making the game again. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you.